Well, I mean, let me say this, and as you're turning there, I was so grieved. I was watching TV the other day, and I felt like that's all that was coming across was just, you know, quotes from the Bible. And nothing wrong with quotes from the Bible, but there was no understanding and how people can stand and shout, and just from, you know, the word. And please understand, I hope I'm getting my point across.
Yeah, we get it. You think you're the best preacher. Nobody else is good. We got it.
No,
I think we all understand what you're trying to say.
But my point is, there's nothing wrong with the word. There's nothing wrong with quoting the word. There's not, you know. But to just get up and shout about something you've heard out of the word, but nobody to tell you, okay, now when you walk out the doors, this is how you're going to have to deal with your marriage, or this is how you're going to have to deal with financial pressure. This is how you're going to have to deal with people in authority over you. But you're just going to walk out, and you're going to get to your car, and you're going to be frustrated. You're going to sit down and say, okay, now what do I do?
Yeah.
And you're going to get home and not know what to do. But go ahead, Nehemiah.
Nehemiah 8, this whole ministry is based on these verses. Nehemiah 8, verse 1. And all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street. Thank God we're not in the street. That was before the Watergate. This back in the 70s. And they spake unto Ezra the scribe. Now watch what they told him to do. Bring the book of the law of Moses. Now they had just discovered this, which the Lord had commanded Israel. And Ezra the priest brought the law before the congregation, both of men and women, and all that could hear with understanding. You know, when we first started the original location in Jacksonville, we didn't have children's ministry. And I think that we had little bitty ones, but the 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, they hung out. And I think even in Atlanta now, they just have a little place for the little bitty ones, you know, to walk around. But that's why we teach on this level. 5, 6, 7-year-olds can understand. I mean, you should, you know, when we first started, I don't know if you remember the one testimony about we were teaching on favor, and that favor was different from luck.
Yep.
And one of, matter of fact, I think it's Pastor Adrian. Pastor Adrian Smith was playing Uno with his niece, and his niece just, you know, thumped him. Draw four, skip you, reverse, skip you, draw four, skip you, reverse, skip you, reverse, draw four, wild, blue, red, skip you, Uno, and slapped it down. And he said, you are so lucky. She said, no, sir, that's the favor of God. And I think she was like 7 at the time or something like that. It was great. So it says here, verse 2, it says, and all that could hear with understanding upon the first day of the 7th month. So anybody that could hear with understanding. Now watch what he does in verse 3. And he read therein before the street that was before the Watergate, from morning unto midday. See, you know, pastor talks long. Before the men and women, and before all those that could hear and understanding, and all the ears of the people were attentive unto the book of the law. And Ezra the scribe stood upon a pulpit of wood, which they had made for that purpose, and beside him stood Bill, I'm not even going to try it, and Jesse, and Anna, and Uri, and Hilkiah, and Matt, and on his right hand and on his left stood Peter, and Mitch, and Malcolm, and Hassan, and Hashbadana, and that what it says, Hashbadana, and Zechariah, and Mushallam. And Ezra, watch this verse 5, opened the book in the sight of all the people. That's why we give you the Bibles. So you can see, we don't want you saying, oh, if Pastor Mike were here, he'd know what to do. We want you looking at the same source of wisdom that we look at. We want you to say, well, Pastor's finding the book, maybe we can too. Ezra opened the book in the sight of all the people, for he was above all the people. He was up where people could see him. And when he opened it, all the people stood up. That's reverence for the word. And Ezra blessed the Lord, the great God. And all the people answered, amen, amen, with a lifting up of hands. They were Pentecostal. And they bowed down their heads and worshiped the Lord with their faces to the ground. And here they go again, John and Ben and Steve and James and Adam and some folks. Watch this. And the Levites, watch what they did. Verse 7, here it is. They caused the people to understand the law. They didn't just read it, they caused them to understand the law. And the people stood in their place. Nobody moved. Here it is. So they read in the book of the law of God distinctly and gave the sense and caused them to understand, not their points, they caused them to understand what they were reading. And Nehemiah, which is the Tershatha, and Ezra, the priest and scribe, and the Levites that taught the people, said unto the people, this day is holy. What? When you understand the word for the first time, this day is holy unto the Lord your God. Mourn not, nor weep, for all the people wept when they heard the words of the law. I don't know if you ever remember the day you got out of tradition and the first time somebody made sense of the Word of God. And watch this, verse 10. Then he said to them, go your way, eat the fat, drink the sweet, send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto the Lord your God. Neither be ye sorry, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. But you're not going to get strength. You might get emotionally tantalized. But you're only going to get strength from understanding the Word of God. Now, we're not talking bad about anybody. Thank God for everybody. Jesus said, if they're not against me, they're on my side. Leave everybody alone. We thank God for everybody. But for this house, people say, are we ever going to come in here and you just going to do something besides open the Bible and teach us? No.